Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
What's crack-a-lackin', fantasy champs?
What's poppin'?
My name's Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me as always. What's poppin', Rick?
How we doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Wonderful. My basement has a lot of bugs on the floor, though. I probably should vacuum those up.
Yeah, that's not great.
They're just dead. Dead flies everywhere.
It's kind of gross, bro.
Yeah.
Get a vacuum.
So just to give you an idea of where I'm at. The NFL training camps, full swing.
Yeah.
Slapping us all in the face. Lots of stuff going on. Apparently, Malik Nabers is the best wide receiver since, Marvin Harrison. And not Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah. He's literally the GOAT, apparently.
Every day he makes a highlight reel catch, and it makes me think. It makes me go, Only receiver on that football team, I'll tell you.
Enough for you to draft him in the
should I draft him?
top of the third round?
No. It makes my heart hurt a little bit. We've also had tons of NFL news. Brandon Ayuk possibly going to the Steelers, not going to my beloved Patriots. So that hurt a little bit. Just slightly.
Yeah.
I feel
that was tough for Pats fans, but hey, excited. Jalen Polk, Javon Baker.
All this means is that football is very close to being here. Real football, not the preseason, which I will be watching adamantly on Thursday.
Right.
But anyway, so today, welcome into the pod. The last 4 episodes that we've done has been like a fire hose spray, hour and a half long tranche. And we are going to shorten it up. So today's episode, hopefully, is done in 20 minutes.
We're going to try it. I mean, it's a mock draft, so we can usually fly through these.
So we are going to
be first mock draft of the year.
Yeah, it's our first mock draft of the year. We're going to be doing a PPR 12-team mock, breaking down what we would do in drafts. And as we get closer to the draft, there'll be more of the closer to your drafts and closer to the NFL season. We'll be doing different varieties of mock drafts. But yeah, so it should be interesting. First one that we've done at least together here. So we'll see what happens. But before we jump into the mock draft, be sure to, follow us on all social platforms. The FF Champs, Fantasy Champions, just search us, find us. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platforms, please leave a review, share this podcast with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, like and comment down below. All of these things help the show grow and allow us to make more content for you.
And more mock drafts.
Yeah, and more mock drafts, because that's what we want to do. Because I've done like 5 maybe all year.
You gotta up that by times 10.
I gotta up that total. There was a Twitter Sleeper has got the best memes. If you want fantasy football memes, just go over to Sleeper. But they had a funny meme about drafts. So go check that one out. But anyway, so you want to get started on this mock draft?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, information, like I said, 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, tight end. I got rid of kickers and defense because they're entirely unnecessary in a lot of formats. But we do have 6 bench spots, and we do have 2 flexes. It is a PPR. Probably said that 100 times already. I'm picking 4. Rick is picking 9 if you're listening on the great old podcast platforms. Let's get this started.
All right, let's do it.
Boom. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. There we go. All right, here we go. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, all off the board. Now, I was going to ask you a question about A1 Christian McCaffrey because I thought he might go in the top 3, but he didn't. People still love Justin Jefferson, huh?
Some people do, some people don't. I've seen some tweets saying that they're not even drafting Jefferson in the first round.
Ooh, whoa.
So there's some people that feel that way, and then there's other people that, don't think much has changed, and still he's at least wide receiver 3 at least.
Yeah.
Minimum.
There is a guy on the board that happens to be my number one receiver right now on my rankings. And there's also the number one running back on my rankings.
Yeah.
So basically the draft
This
starts
would be a
with me.
dream start, wouldn't it?
This would be a dream start for me.
Between these two at the 4th pick.
In PPR formats, generally speaking, I mean, the fact that Jamar Chase had 289 fantasy points last year. I'm sorry, that wasn't last year. Forgive me. They need to get this projected numbers out of here on Sleeper.
He had 302 as a rookie. He had 262 last year, but he didn't have Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He didn't have Joe Burrow all year. So
for most of the year.
Anyway, so in PPR leagues, I typically like to go, like, if you have a running back that's there that's very, very good and that can pass catch, it's okay to take them, but I typically like to take the receiver. I haven't done a lot of mock drafts, so this is all new to me. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey here, and I'm going to see what happens.
That's I think the right pick. You do have to be concerned about
the injury.
The injury, yeah. So, like, if you take McCaffrey, you got to take Elijah Mitchell right after, or at some point in the draft.
Not in the second round.
Yeah, not right after. But you do have to take Elijah Mitchell. I think McCaffrey's what is it, calf strain?
Yes.
They said it's not really like he's going to play week 1, so it shouldn't really affect your drafts, but it's something that you might want to keep an eye on. But taking him there is a good pick. So then Chase went right after Amon-Ra. Breece Hall 1-7, and then A.J. Brown 1-8. This leaves me with a pretty obvious choice. I kind of agree with you. I'd prefer to go receiver, but there's 3, and you could even argue 4 running backs that really stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is still here, who could very easily be the RB1, and that's Bijan Robinson. He's got all the talent in the world, and now he has a quarterback upgrade and an offense coordinator upgrade. So I think this could be his real breakout year. And even last year, he was still pretty good with Arthur Smith and the weird offense. Like, he was RB9, so still a top 10 back last year, but has a lot more upside. And then after was Saquon Barkley 110, Garrett Wilson 111, Puka 112, Gibbs 2-1, Marvin Harrison, and then Devontae Adams.
Okay.
This kind of gets bleak. It's why I don't love. It's weird. Last year, I think I liked last couple of years, I haven't mind drafting later in the draft. This year, I prefer to pick in like the top 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Because after you get past like A.J. Brown or Garrett Wilson, it's like the first, I don't know, what is that, pick 8, pick 9 for me. And you could even maybe throw Puka in there, but the injury concern. It gets really like kind of random to me. Kyron's probably got the highest upside here. And then after that, it's like Jonathan Taylor's probably the most consistent, but do I really want to go back to back? Running back? Not really. Just quickly looking at my own rankings as of right now, I would have Drake London as the top available receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I could go with that Atlanta stack.
You could do that.
I'll tell you who I wouldn't draft here, Sam Laporta.
You got that Falcons theme team?
I think just looking at the board here, it's crazy to consider it, but I would highly consider Jonathan Taylor here.
Okay.
And then just go heavy receivers next couple rounds.
Sure.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take Drake London.
So he's going to go with the Falcons theme team.
I am.
Okay.
Trusting Kirk Cousins, baby.
All right. And if you don't draft Kirk Cousins late, I don't know what you're doing. Kyren Williams, Chris Olave, Jonathan Taylor, and Sam Laporta come off the board. I would be more comfortable with some of the running backs here, which is why I will say drafting wide receivers in a PPR draft,
especially round 1,
is probably your best bet. If you're in the back end of the first round, like between 8 and 12, not the end of the world to go running back, like, because you pick so soon after, so you can get another running back. I say your team, 11. You still have some good options at running back to go at 11 and then flip around into the second round and draft maybe a Marvin Harrison Jr. or a Drake London. So you're fine there. Whereas if you draft a running back in the early part of the draft like I did, you end up in a situation where it's like, okay, there's no receivers, there's a lot of running backs, and do I really want to pass up on a guy? I'm conflicted. I don't know what to do. I'm taking all the guys with question marks. I would say this is the San Francisco 49ers theme team, but I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk here.
Okay.
I have him ranked 10.
Steelers receiver, Brandon Ayuk.
Likely Steelers receiver, Brandon Ayuk. I do have I don't really know I don't know if Brandon Ayuk's going to move up or down based on his trade to the Steelers. Like I think volume wise he'll increase in target share from what he had in San Fran, but I think efficiency will likely take a drop. So do those two things just balance each other out, and it ends up with Ayuk being the same fantasy wise that he was for the last couple of years? I don't know.
I think he will drop a couple spots, but he wouldn't drop too far because I think they're going to try to still give him the ball. But it's just tough. The 49ers offense is just a little more, I don't know, touchdown friendly.
Yeah, for real. So after my pick of Brandon Ayuk, I had Travis Etienne, Josh Allen, Devin Achane, Mike Evans, Josh Jacobs, and then Travis Kelce come off the board. So there is the old man running back Derrick Henry here. Absolutely freaking not. There's two wide receivers that are in the same vicinity that I'm just entirely unsure about. You have Nico Collins and you have Stephon Diggs.
On the same team.
On the same team. I just don't.
I know who I would want.
Nico Collins is the guy that I would draft if you're drafting a Houston wide receiver here. But I'm confused as to I'm not sure I want to draft either one of these guys in the third round. So that's kind of my confusion. Is like, do I take him? Do I not? I don't know.
Yeah.
I do really like DJ Moore here. I think DJ Moore. He is
even with the increased target competition.
Yeah, I think he is the best receiver on that team. I don't really think Odunze is going to have much of. He's going to be like JSN.
Yeah.
This year, where he's just not going to have, because there's two other guys on the team that are veterans and that are actually still good at football. They'll likely not get a ton of work over to Rome Odunze, which in essence would be, to me, the best receiver on the team would be DJ Moore. They just gave him a big contract and Keenan Allen's old. So that would be the guy, and that's why I wouldn't be afraid of taking him. I do really like Jalen Waddle. He's kind of being underrated this year a little bit. And then if you want to go with a wide receiver one on a football team who just happened to have the second wide receiver on their football team get hurt.
Oh,
Michael Pittman.
True.
That is interesting. So
Josh Downs, though, the report that I saw was like 4 to 6 weeks. So that would bring him back to like week 1.
But you don't want to. See, I don't draft it. See, this is why your teams always get hurt, Rick. You go out and draft those training camp injuries.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, yeah. So to me, it's between. I personally think Nico Collins is the best receiver here, so I'm going to take Nico Collins.
I think that's a good pick. That's who I would have taken.
After my pick, Pacheco, Henry, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, then Rick's pick.
So for me, with Brandon Ayuk gone, I'm going to take Deebo Samuel because it just opens things up. I think it's going to really affect kind of the second and third guys more than Deebo.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, Deebo was wide receiver 9 last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or he was wide receiver 15. I think he was wide receiver 9 points per game because he missed 2 games.
Sure.
But like to me, if you're a top 15 receiver in 15 games played, right, and you just lost your supposedly number 1 receiver on the team, even though that's probably good for a guy like Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Jennings, whoever those second and third guys are, Deebo will probably get more targets.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my second guy was DJ Moore, and he got picked. But after Deebo Samuel, we have Jalen Hurts, Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore, Lamar Jackson, James Cook, Rashad White. Because what you were saying about DJ Moore, I agree with. I do think he's the wide receiver 1 there. And the target competition isn't necessarily the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to truly hurt him. Because he, again, he was wide receiver, what was it, 6 last year. So
Yep.
he might go down a couple spots, but he's still probably a top 15 receiver to me.
Yeah.
I do think he made the right pick though at Nico.
I'm conflicted. Definitely.
This one is tough because I'm still going receiver here. And we have Cooper Kupp, who is, the reports are saying training camp, he's all the way back. The offense is running through him again, all this stuff.
Is it now?
And it's tempting, but the dude has been injured
Mm-hmm.
so much the last 2 years. Then there's the wild card, Malik Neighbors, the guy we talked about. And in the 4th round, I kind of don't hate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors.
Oh! He did it.
Get some upside.
He did it.
Yeah. It was either him or Kupp,
Oh,
but I went with the home run play.
I'll tell you, my sleeper is spazzing out right now.
Yeah, is it saying that Team 5 is on the clock?
Yep. I'm just going to reload the page here.
Team 5 is a real person.
So after
trying to make a pick.
after Rick's Nabbers pick, see, now it's gone. I can't even see it. I'm just going to open it on my... There it is.
Would you have taken Neighbors there, or would you have taken a different receiver? Or a different
Neighbors
player?
is probably like... you already have 2 receivers. You're kind of just taking a flex guy right now. So I don't see it as the end of the world to take Neighbors. It's kind of like it's a riskier pick, but you already kind of have established receivers. So,
well, Debo, the way I see it is like Debo was a little bit safer, and then Malik Neighbors is kind of
Debo and London are like safer picks, and then Malik Neighbors is like if he ends up being really good, he can like skyrocket. After Rick's pick, Mahomes, Stroud, McBride, Zay
Stroud's
Flowers,
going 4th round, huh?
freaking Cooper Kupp still on the board for me, I guess.
Team 5 make a pick, or am I tripping?
No,
Team
5
Zay
made
Flowers.
it. Yeah,
Interesting. That's a.
So
you could go Kupp, but I know you're kind of anti-Kupp.
I'm not anti-Kupp.
Oh, okay.
I'm Puka Nacua was so good last year that it's like Puka Nacua was so good last year that Cooper Kupp coming in is not going to have the same volume. They can say it runs through Cooper Kupp, but this is going to be like split.
I want to say though, when they were both on the field, Puka was better, but like Kupp was still pretty good. Like he was still like 15 points per game.
My
he was an old
man.
Cooper Kupp is
I
gone.
I hate
but...
old men. So I'm going to say no on Cooper Kupp. I'm going to pass on him.
Okay.
Seattle has Metcalf. They got a new coach, new system over there. So I don't really know necessarily what's going to happen with him, but he is always like Metcalf is stuck at 15.
Yeah.
Like he's always going to be between 15 and 20 at this point.
21 last year.
If he was really good, like if he had a really good quarterback and the offense was more efficient, then I think he could be a top 10 guy, but I just don't think he has that. And I think people putting him in that kind of hemisphere or ceiling are fooling themselves. I still love Devonta Smith. But I will say I'm going to go with somebody who gives me some explosions. We're going to go with DK Metcalf.
Okay. I think any one of those 3 receivers would have been good there for you.
Whoa. Sorry. I reloaded the page and all of a sudden we got the sound effects. Yes, I agree.
Oh yeah, turn those off.
Metcalf he's kind of getting up there in age, but he is one of those that he's better than Mike Williams. Obviously, he has a better floor, but he can have explosion games. So I like that about DK. And then we have Cooper Kupp, Joe Mixon, Devonta Smith, Dalton Kincaid, my guy. Oh, and then Alvin Kamara and Kyle Pitts come off the board.
So Mark Andrews right now is tight end 7.
You do this every year.
Tight end 6.
You do this every year.
What do you mean, bro?
You Mark Andrews.
2021 he was tight end 1. 2022 he was tight end 4. And the last year
to you in the 6th round, and you take him, and then you suck.
I did that literally last year, and that was it. The year he gets injured, by the way, healthy every year his career. Last year only plays 10 games.
Hey,
the year
I just wanted to remind you.
I would draft. I mean.
So I hate to double up here and go theme team Seattle, but Kenneth Walker is on the board. That is not a bad selection. You also have Aaron Jones from Minnesota, but he's an old man. I think the best receiver that you're going to get left, best running back here left is probably Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Kenneth Walker here, making my second running back if it would load. There we go.
That's a good pick.
After my pick, T. Higgins, Anthony Richardson, Tank Dell, and then Amari Cooper. Tank Dell's going in the 5th round. Woo!
Yeah. So I did my projections on Houston.
Yeah,
I have Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs virtually the same.
Wow, you are. You're special.
So I kind of would rather have Tank Dell in the 5th round than Diggs in the 3rd. I'll be honest.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I don't know. The Houston wide receiver room is a lot of question marks there.
Yeah.
I told you about Mark Andrews, bro. You can hate me all you want. As the 6th tight end for a guy who could finish as the tight end 1.
Go ahead.
I feel like that's absolutely stealing.
Bro, Isaiah Likely is going to take so many snaps.
Okay, let's relax.
We're not relaxing. Isaiah Likely, baby.
Isaiah Likely.
Come on, dude. You know it. You know it's true.
Okay, so
How old is
now
Mark Andrews, 31?
Bro, he's like 27.
No way.
28. He's 28.
All right, so he's not that old. But hey, listen.
He's finished as a top 6 tight end every single year of his career when healthy.
Okay.
Outside of his rookie.
Listen, I'm not judging you.
It doesn't count.
But you love the tight ends in the 6th round.
Dude, 2 years ago, he was tight end 1. That's all I'm saying. And getting him as a top 6 tight end, I'll take that. And tight end 7, right? How many tight ends went ahead of him?
Yeah, something like that.
McBride, Laporta, Kelsey, Kincaid, Pitts. I'll take that. Anyway, I'm on the clock. James Conner, I'm good on. Joe Burrow, I don't hate. I think it's a little early still, though, for a guy like Burrow. And like in basketball, Burrow is like a 8th round pick, which I like. But 6th round, I don't know. Montgomery is okay. Swift, up or down. You know who my favorite running back is left on the board right now?
Don't say Zamir White.
Oh. I'm going to sound like a homer, but it's Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. We'll see. He hasn't pass catch much. That part of his game is overstated. No,
he had
they got
69 catches in 2022.
Yeah, he had 69 catches because Mac Jones only knew how to do one.
Everything you're hearing from Patriots training camp is they're going to run the ball 500 times.
Sure.
So I think Ramondre might get 300 touches this year if he's healthy or close to it, which would be pretty good value in the 6th round. So to me, it's between him and Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is kind of low on the board to me because everyone thought he was going to get suspended. But the closer we get to the regular season, it looks like he might get suspended next year.
Mm-hmm.
So if Rashee Rice is not suspended, he could be a steal. So this is tough. But I think based on how I've drafted so far, I got to go running back, and I'll take Ramondre.
Okay. Nice. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. David Montgomery, James Conner, Jordan Addison, and Joe Burrow come off the board, and that leaves me with Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Rashee. Rick and I have had conversations about Rashee Rice, and I've talked about him in more of a negative connotation. Yeah. I don't know what his suspension is going to be. So once that comes down, I would imagine he's not a 6th, 7th round pick, and that he falls a little bit. But assuming that he plays week 1 and that the legal stuff is not dealt with yet, to me, it's like what we've seen from Rashee Rice is that he can be a mid-range wide receiver too. And at that range in the 6th round, when you talk about team construct, and I have 2 running backs, I have Metcalf and Rashee Rice in my first and second flex, and it gives me a lot of depth at the receiver position and a lot of depth at flex to have guys that can finish either as a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2. So
I just want to say Rashee Rice real quick. From week 12 on last year.
Mm-hmm.
So week 12 on as a rookie, 24, 14, 18, 24, 11, 17. And then he had a monster playoff. So
Rome Odunze, Jaden Reed, DeAndre Swift, Dak Prescott, Chris Godwin, Calvin Ridley, all come off the board.
This is gross. This is real gross.
Yeah, so you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
You know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my way too early quarterback, Kyler Murray.
Oh, you
I love him.
bastard. That's who I was going to take.
I love it.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it, but I'll take a rushing quarterback in the 7th round.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Okay. It's really gross here. Really, really gross. Just looking at it, I might go a little off the board, but I'll probably save it for my next pick. I'm going to do what you did and get my quarterback. I think the last QB1 that's available, Jordan Love. So then we have some.
Why are we doing this with Jordan Love?
You're not a Jordan Love guy?
I'm all right with Jordan Love.
QB5 last year.
You love Jordan
in his first year as a starter.
You are obsessed with Jordan Love right now.
I think he has the chance to win an MVP. He's a dark horse.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now here we are, a couple gross tight ends. After Pollard, Zamir White, Brock Bowers in the 7th round. How do you feel about that one? Raheem Mostert, Brock Purdy, 8th round. Team 12. Kind of feels gross too.
Good luck, Team 12.
Backing Brock Purdy in the 8th round without Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, that's. I mean, hey, they don't know yet.
I guess DeAndre Hopkins, and then I have Njoku, who I think is an okay tight end. Jake Ferguson, same, but not really intrigued by either guy. Mm-hmm. And I have Mark Andrews, so totally not doing that. Some of the running backs are intriguing. Jonathan Brooks, Javonte Williams, both pretty intriguing. But to me, I think I'm not going to take him. I think Ladd is really intriguing here because there's a chance he's the wide receiver 1 on that team, year 1.
Okay.
I actually might take him. I might have just talked myself into it. Because outside of Ladd, who's the Chargers receivers? Quentin Johnson sucks. He's having another bad training camp. Looks like he's done. Mm-hmm. It's DJ Chark and Josh Palmer. Yeah, I'll take Ladd. I think he's the wide receiver 1 on that team.
I frick you. First off, I was going to take Ladd. After your pick, Jonathan Brooks, Keon Coleman, Zach Moss, and then Nick Chubb. I don't love it, but I kind of like it a little bit. I can figure it out later. I'm going to take Deontay Johnson.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Love it. I hope I draft in the top 5 because this I'm having a good time. I don't know. I got all these receivers. Don't know what I'm going to do with them.
You got a good team, bro.
Oh my God! And then David Njoku fell to me.
There you go, buddy.
I was going to take David Njoku at 8-9 because I thought Deontay Johnson would go off the board, and then he fell to me anyway. So I took Deontay Johnson, and then we had Caleb Williams, Javonte Williams, Austin Eckler, Jalen Warren, Tajay Spears, Brian Thomas, and then holy crap, guys. Why are we taking all these rookies so high? Golly. David Njoku. I guess it's not that high, but. And then Jake Ferguson.
Well, now we're in like the 8th, 9th round, so it's okay.
Christian Watson, Devin Singletary, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Yeah, so I like, just to go over my picks real quick, I love Deontay Johnson in Carolina. One of the best route runners in the NFL. Does have problems with his hands a lot of the time. Yeah. But in Carolina, he's the number 1 receiver, so he's going to have the same, I would imagine, the same workload that he had in Pittsburgh. And hopefully their offense is slightly more efficient than Pittsburgh's was last year. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then
so I hate to take another rookie.
David Njoku was just a boss with Joe Flacco last year, and I hope that continues this year. So I'll take a risk on him in the 9th round. Hawkinson is also available, and that's my guy.
Yeah. He probably is going to miss the first.
Yeah, I was going to say he'll miss the first 3 to
5. Although the latest report on him says not ruled out for week 1.
I love TJ Hawkinson.
My guess, though, he's out the first week or 2 of the season.
Yeah.
And there's a chance he gets on the what's the short-term IR, the first 4 weeks?
Yes.
I think there's a chance of that. So
okay.
I'm taking Trey Benson here. I hate to take my 3rd rookie, but he was a high draft pick for Arizona for running backs, and I think James Conner has gotten injured every year of his career. So it's inevitable before Trey Benson eventually takes over that job. Might start slow though.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of gross. This is kind of gross. I think I'm going a little off the board here. I'll take Chase Brown. And all the reports in training camp from Cincinnati people are saying that he has been with the starters and he's having a great camp. So if he's the starting running back on the Cincinnati Bengals, I'll take that in the 10th round.
Rick, you got a lot of running backs.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. After Rick's pick, Gus Edwards, Jaden Daniels, Dalton Schultz, Ezekiel Elliott. Rick and I are going to rapido muchacho the last 4 rounds here because we're out of time. But after my pick, and it is the later rounds. The only goal of the later rounds, just draft young, talented players. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Wait, what do I do here? I hate to take another Chicago Bear. And I don't want to double up on tight end, so I'm not gonna. That would be a bad idea. I'm gonna take Romeo Doubs, another wide receiver in the 10th round. And then after my pick, Justin Herbert, Cole Kmet, Cortland Sutton, Blake Corum, Jerome Ford, and then Tyler Lockett. I'll take younger guys. Chance of a superstar, Aiden I. Mitchell. I'll take him. 11th round.
That's good, especially with Downs. If Downs misses a couple weeks there, Mitchell could really have a chance to break out. I'll start off with. I already have 2 rookie receivers, as much as tempting as Leggett is. I'll go Mike Williams. I think with Aaron Rodgers, that could be a sneaky value. I know he's injured, which is my style. But
you know not
when he's healthy and when Rodgers is healthy, that could be a steal.
Home Dog has no idea.
What is it?
I said Home Dog has no idea with the injuries.
Yeah,
you love him. You love him.
Hey, look at the rest of my team. Right? They're all healthy.
I'll say. I think the reason why you like injuries is because they create values on players. So you're like, oh, this guy's better value, except they're hurt.
And it's one thing to do it,
brother. I'm gonna judge you.
A part of my team. It's the 11th round. All right, it's the 11th round. I'll take the value. Right. And then it's real gross. Real gross.
This is my favorite part of the draft. I don't know what you're talking about. I see all kinds of guys I like.
Yeah, Raheed Shaheed.
Yeah, just make your pick.
I'll take Josh Palmer.
Okay. Gross, dude. Wait, what are you looking at? What board are you looking at? All right.
Listen, I have Ladd and Josh Palmer. One of them's going to be good.
That's true. Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Wright, Rashid Shaheed, and Matt Stafford all come off the board. With my first pick here, we're in the 12th round. I'm going to take, like I said, I deep dive here, and I try to find guys that I really like. I was actually going to take Jalen Wright because I probably need another running back, but I didn't. I'm going to take a shot on J.K. Dobbins. We'll see what happens there for the Chargers.
I was going to say, you have 2 running backs, dog. You talking about me with injuries. Hold on.
You're taking a guy who's torn both of Achilles? Everyone's always looking for wide receivers in PPR. So what do? I stash. And then when somebody's like, oh my God, I need a receiver, but I have 100 running backs.
Yeah, but you're taking the most injured running back available.
Fight me.
Okay.
Kendra Miller, Josh Downs, Aaron Rodgers, Rico Dwaddle, Trey Franklin, and then Ben Sinnott come off the board. I'm gonna take Ricky Parasol.
Oh,
take Ricky
freaking
Parasol.
Jerk, dude.
That was always gonna happen because I'm saving one pick for the 14th round.
That's okay. I'm gonna take a potential wide receiver 1 in the 13th round, Jalen Polk.
Oh, see, I like that. I would have taken him if we had 15
rounds. Last pick.
Yep.
Give me. Gosh, this is gross. I'm doubling down on Patriots. Give me Pop.
Ooh, Pop's a good pick. Probably better than Jalen Polk, to be honest with you. All right, ready for this? Yeah!
Oh, I like it.
I'm going to go Justin Fields in the 14th round. Now, a lot of
it's
people are
fun-
going to be
if
like,
you-
why is not even starting?
He will.
He will be.
There's no even if
will
Russell
be.
Wilson starts week 1, I feel like there's no shot Justin Fields isn't the starter. If you were doing best ball a month ago, Justin Fields was going undrafted.
What's he doing? What's he now?
Where he is now,
Where?
he's like 13th round, 14th round. He's flying up boards.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen in Sleeper.
Yeah, 14th round. That's a good. That's pretty good. I like that pick.
So my team, Kyler Murray, Christian McCaffrey, is in no particular order. This was not in the order of the draft. This is my full team. Kyler Murray at quarterback, running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk, Nico Collins, David Njoku at tight end, and then I have DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice at my 2 flex spots. Then I have Deontay Johnson, Romeo Doubs, Adonai Mitchell, J.K. Dobbins, Ricky Parasol, and Justin Fields.
I'm gonna say I really like your draft.
Sure.
I think I would have taken one more running back instead of Romeo Doubs, though. That would be my critique.
Okay.
Because 3 running backs is kind of tough.
I'm going to stay consistent, bro. There's a lot of teams here that have a lot of running backs and no receivers.
You're playing for the trade game.
Absolutely, I am.
Hey, that's fair. I went Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Debo Samuel, Malik Neighbors, Mark Andrews, Ramondre Stevenson, Jordan Love, Ladd, McConkey, Trey Benson, Chase Brown, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Jalen Polk, Demario Douglas.
Yeah, I don't mind your team either. Lots of youth.
That's all right.
Youth movement. You went so far away from the injured guys that you were like youth movement besides Debo.
Yeah. Well, Mike Williams and Debo are kind of old men. Injuries.
There you go. There's some interesting stuff going on in this draft. A little longer than I'd like to say, but it is what it is. There's your mock draft. First of the year. We figured some stuff out. Love my team. If I draft in the back half of the draft, my soul's probably going to be crushed. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for listening today, guys. What do we even have tomorrow? I don't know.
Receiver rankings?
Receiver rankings. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.